Hi, I'm Brandon, and I'm back to take a second look at Dan Allen from the Riverside Sting, the Curious Predator. So let's take a look at his wiki page to figure out what was going on with Dan before the sting. It says Daniel Joseph Allen was born on March 15th, 1957. In the 1980s and 90s, Allen had relationships with many different women, but none lasted long. He also had a daughter. He received a year in prison and 5 years of probation after being found guilty of felony stalking in the mid-90s. Allen had kept driving past his girlfriend's house, and he set up a program that kept calling her phone number, compelling her to turn it off, and she had to go into hiding for months. Between his time in prison and his arrest in Riverside, Allen only saw his daughter once. He picked her up from school in 2003 and attempted to make up for nearly a decade of lost time in an hour. So basically, he never saw his daughter in his entire life, and he's like, "All right, I'll just pick you up from school one time, and then we'll call it even. That'll make up for it." In January 2006, 49-year-old Allen's. See, in the segment, he says he's 47. So I don't know if he's lying about his age, because he also claims he's 37 in the chat, but he's in his late 40s either way. 49-year-old Allen started an internet chat with a perverted justice decoy posing as an underage girl named Sammy. He lied about his age, claiming he was 37. He told the decoy she was not too young for him. He then complimented her looks. He inquired about her past relationships, and he declared his desire for her to be so bad. And then, very creepily, he instructed her to, quote, sit on Santa's lap. He then exposed his butt in front of a camera. Oh my God. Any guy doing that's obviously wrong to someone of this age, but looking at this guy, who the hell wants to see this guy's butt? That is gross. He also did other very inappropriate things on camera, I think you can imagine, and he urinated into a cup. Why would he think anyone would want to see that? And he requested a full body massage. He allegedly said that he wanted to be her teacher, and she wanted him to do very gross things. And he said a bunch of very other inappropriate things talking about her body. He said he wanted to take her to a motel. And he said that if anyone saw them together, he told her to claim to be 18. As the conversation continued, he became more and more worried, claiming that she was underage and that he might be seen as a predator. Yeah, there's no might about it. You are a predator. Anyways, from there, he set off to the Sting house, and we're going to head over there now to see what happened. Yeah, for a guy who's known as the Curious Predator, I think he's more fearful than he is curious as he's approaching this door. I think he's very suspicious. We've seen some of the guys, Jerry Wayne Kosis, that just come strutting up to the door like they couldn't be happier. This guy, he's walking a little slow, seems a little bit hesitant. Let's watch that again. It's like he's waiting for someone to pounce out at any second.
He walks in, and he makes himself right at home. I mean, he basically...
And isn't that just weird to just stand in the doorway and look? Like, if you're coming to meet someone, unless it's just the awkward situation of not having maybe there's no doorbell or door to knock on, but just to walk up and then stand there peering in. Like, what if you're just in your kitchen minding your own business and then look over and there's just some strange guy that looks like this just looking at you from here? This is kind of creepy.
And he makes himself right at home. I mean, he basically acts as if he were showing up at an old friend's house.
Well, I want to take a shower.
I don't think this guy makes himself at home any more than any of the other guys do. A lot of the guys just barge in. He waited till the decoy invited him in. I think Chris is just trying to be dramatic.
I look pretty and everything.
I don't know.
We clearly have the element of surprise. I mean, these guys sometimes don't know whether to think I'm the mad dad who came in unexpectedly, the police.
I think that's what confuses them, is that he doesn't seem that mad. Like, Chris is a bit stern when he's talking to them. But if this was like a real father, he'd be most likely way more pissed off. I think most people, they think that's obviously a possibility, but they're probably like, he's kind of being pretty chill for the dad. And so I think most predators probably think that they're cops, but Who knows what they're thinking?
Or an investigative reporter. And so their mind...
I bet you, because that's kind of, they know they're doing something illegal. So police involvement is something they've probably thought of. And it would make sense that there's a man that lives in this house. I mean, and it would be the dad of a person of that age. I mean, that's kind of the most obvious person you would run into in the house. I doubt any of the guys thought it was an investigative reporter unless they'd seen the show before. Because when this was kind of a new thing, like who would ever think? And that's what made the show so good back then, is like that was the last thing on their mind. And now they're like, oh shit, I'm on television. And then they run outside. Oh shit, I'm getting arrested. That made it, that's what made the show so classic.
Is whirling away trying to figure out how they're going to deal with this situation. And sometimes they just decide they're going to, act like they did nothing wrong. Would you come on over here and have a seat, please?
Jeez. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
All right.
Good, sit down. What's going on?
I just meeting a friend that I met on the internet.
His screen name is AKA Trying to Be Normal. Yeah, I think you should try harder to be normal, Dan, because this is not normal.
Really? Alan did not miss a beat. It was almost as if when I walked in, I was somebody he had met before. No,
it wasn't. It was. I think Chris is just trying to be dramatic and say this just to make a good story. Some of the things he says are a bit cheesy. I mean, I like Chris Hansen, but sometimes the things he says are a bit ridiculous. It's not like he's talking to an old friend or someone he knew before. It's not like that at all. He's saying kind of dumb things, and obviously he's there for a horrible reason, but he's not acting that much different than all the other guys.
Admission at all that this was a bad situation, that what he was doing here constituted a felony. He was here to have a date with a 13-year-old, and yet now he's going to be my best friend. And who's your friend who you met on the internet?
Sam.
Yeah, he's not trying to be your best friend at all. That is not a good description of the situation.
Sam.
Yes.
And
she was Sammy.
And Sam is who?
Person I met off the internet.
Man, woman?
Oh, it's a girl.
It's a girl.
I don't know how old. That's why I'm here. I'm just curious.
They can say they're...
He's just curious. What the hell were you curious about? The person you were talking to stated their age. That age was underage. And then you drove over to the house because you were curious. I could see if you didn't know their age and were too stupid to ask, so you were curious how old they were. But that doesn't make sense, because you wouldn't drive over till you knew how old they were. Because they could be underage, in which case you'd be in trouble and going to prison. Or they might just be like 96 or something, and which you obviously just wouldn't be into either. So you wouldn't be traveling over unless you knew it was a guy or a girl, despite what he says later, and you knew the age and it was age appropriate. If you find out the age and it's not age appropriate and you drive over anyway, well, then you're in the kind of trouble that you are here. He was not just curious. He tries to make it look like, and a lot of these guys do, that you can't believe what you read on the internet. Like Jay Reffner said, when they say their age, that has no weight or bearing, because they could say anything. Anyone can lie about anything. Yeah, but you're not going to travel somewhere if you think it's going to be a guy. And Dan Allen says something really stupid coming up along those lines. Hopefully it's in this version. I just don't think that that's the way that people meet online. Is that I don't know if this is a man or a woman, how old, but I'm going to go and meet them for a hookup, and I won't know until I get there, and then I'll figure it out. That's not how it works. You're going to know beforehand. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense, obviously.
Curious, and I'm sure they are curious. But when you go back and read the chat log...
He's curious about what the experience will be like to commit this horrible crime. If he's curious about anything, that's what he's curious about. He's not curious about finding out how old she was. He's like, well, if they can prove that I intended to do this thing, if I didn't even know the age. But the thing is, she told you the age, and you acknowledged it.
It's not hard to see that they were more than curious. They were there to actually have a sexual liaison.
It was curiosity absolutely curiosity that got me.
Yeah, we get it. And then it's such a bad excuse. Like, that can't be allowed under the law, because any person ever, you could just like grab a little kid in your car, drive off, and then if you get arrested, be like, well, I didn't know how old they were. I was just curious. So, like, no, that doesn't fly.
And what's your name?
Dan.
Dan. And what's your last name, Dan?
Alan.
Alan.
That's just 2 first names. I know a lot of people have the last name Alan, but yeah. I guess I should poke fun at him for other things, not his name.
We knew that there was a conviction in his past. It had to do with a domestic incident, stalking. He had gotten in trouble for that.
You call stalking a domestic incident? Isn't that a crime?
So, here he is, some years later, apparently willing to commit another crime. How old are you, Dan?
47.
47.
But,
And you say, just wait one second, and you say, wow, 13, am I too old?
Yeah, there you go. You acknowledge that you read her age, and from what you just said, it sounds like you believe her. You're not like, what, really? Are you serious? Are you lying to me? Anything like that. He just instantly believes it, and then acknowledges that there's a massive age difference.
Nah, am I too young? I hate to say this, but
Okay.
you're not. Why do you hate to say
He's like, okay, and he's holding up his finger, like, let me cut in here. I'm gonna say something to prove my innocence. There's nothing you could say that could possibly make this not sound as bad as it is.
that?
let me
Because it's
say-
like I'm some old pervert, but girls your age are so much more fun.
That's incriminating. You are an old pervert, and girls your age are more fun. He's basically just saying that he prefers them to be that age. And the thing is, she already said her age, and he acknowledged it, so he can't be like, oh, I was talking about 25. No, we know he was talking about underage.
I'd have conversations like this with people that turn out to be guys more than half the time.
No, they do not turn out to be guys more than half the time. If you're on the internet, whatever app or platform you're using, and more than half the people that you're trying to meet for some sort of hookup or romantic relationship, whatever, turn out to be guys, you should just stop using it, because obviously it's not working. I've done internet dating before. It's how I met my girlfriend. I never once met or even spoke with someone pretending to be a woman who turned out to be a guy, let alone more than half the times. It's possible that maybe in a freak occurrence that could happen one time where you go to meet someone, turns out they're a dude. Maybe. I even doubt that. I'm going to guess it's 0 times. There was no way that this guy thought the possibility was that this might be another middle-aged man he was going to see. If that was the case, he would not have gone. He would have pried until he got the information he needed to. Because these guys, they've, like, take a picture of yourself, all this other stuff they do to try to prove this is who they say they are. He would have, if he had any doubt, he would have done all of that. So he did not think it's going to turn out to be a guy.
Or they turn out to be very nice women, and that's basically how it goes out there. You know what I mean?
No, we don't know what you mean, because you're lying. These guys, they try to pretend, like, after they're caught, that the internet is just full of liars, which, like, maybe it kind of is in a way, but not really. Like, when you go to meet someone, like, it's usually, that's the person. It's like, he's just like, everything everyone says is a lie. People will go online and their profile will say that they're a 40-year-old man, but they're actually a 22-year-old girl. Sometimes they'll say they're an underage girl, but they're actually a 60-year-old man. You never know. That's not how it works. Like, people, they might shave a few years off their off their age if it makes them, if they think it makes them seem more attractive or something. Like a 50-year-old might say they're 30, maybe even that's like, you're going to get discovered. But no adult woman is going to lie about their age and say that they're a teenager. It just doesn't make sense. Like, why would they do that? They're just trying to be like, everything's so confusing. You can't believe anything. Therefore, I couldn't have had intent because it could have been anyone. I wasn't coming here to see a minor. I didn't know who I was coming here to see. And they're trying to be like, I know how this works. It's you normies, that aren't part of this new or newish internet thing where people talk. You don't know how it works. That's not the case. Like, these guys are just so guilty.
But if somebody tells you they're a 13-year-old girl, don't you see something inappropriate about that?
Maybe so, but I
Maybe so. Yeah, if they say that and there's any doubt, you think they might be mistaken or it was a typo or they lied or something, verify that. Be like, hey, are you serious? Is that your actual age, or are you just messing with me? And of course, they would say, no, that is my real age. And at that point, you can't be like, I still don't believe him. You have to be like, oh, okay. Well, goodbye. That's the end of it.
had my big doubts that she was 13.
But if some
He thinks he's going to get let off the hook because of big doubts. Why would you doubt it? Yeah, I asked someone if I could borrow their car and they said no, but I really doubted if they actually meant no, so I just took the car anyway. Yeah, that's fucking stealing. Wait, you can't doubt someone when they tell you their age.
somebody says they're 13, maybe
You could doubt it the other way, like if someone says they're an adult and they're trying to buy alcohol, you could doubt their age and ask to see identification to prove their age. That happens all the time, but it's not the other way around. If someone says they're underage, you can't just be like, I doubt it. They're probably an adult. So I'm just going to go ahead with my plan. The law doesn't work that way. Society doesn't work that way. No one's going to believe an idiot that says that.
we should just stay away.
Well, yeah, you're absolutely.
Right? I mean, why take the chance?
Like I say,
Yeah, and like I've said before, if it turns out this was an adult woman lying about being that age, she's probably fucking nuts. That's not a person you should go around. Just the fact that she's doing that for whatever reason, she's obviously just weird and deceitful and a liar. It's going to be nothing but trouble. So just pick someone else.
a couple past experiences show that they're never 13. You know,
So you visit
Yeah, I was going to say, so a couple past so you visited other people who have said they were 13 and it turns out not to be. That doesn't look good for you.
people online. You visited people who you met online who said they were 13 before.
well, yeah, 13 or 15.
So it's not the first time you've done this.
Well, no, wait a minute.
Yeah, we don't want to make you look bad, Dan. We don't want to make you look like you're doing something wrong. Please explain yourself.
I've never met a 13-year-old girl from offline.
But what I'm saying is,
From offline? We're talking about from online.
did you ever go meet?
Or is he trying to say he'd never met them offline after meeting them online? You shouldn't even be talking to them online. You should have nothing to do with them whatsoever.
Somebody who said they were 13 online.
No, not 13. 16 in my area, and it was a guy that was, I don't know, mid-20s, you know, who had a big laugh on me.
See, okay, maybe that might happen because I mean, obviously there are other than this, there are like predator catcher type shows, and there's probably even back in this time, there could have been people doing that to, not necessarily put on YouTube, but just to rob the person or something. I mean, that might happen. But what would be the point? I even have a hard time believing that story because it turned out to be one guy in his mid-20s. Why would you go online, pretend to be an underage girl, invite some creepy middle-aged man over to your house just to laugh at him? Like, the guy could have a gun. Now he knows where you live. He's really pissed off. Like, even when the predator catcher type guys, they meet in public. They don't invite the predator to their house. And there's usually more than one person there. They have, like, someone on camera and stuff, too. It's not one guy alone. That's just kind of dangerous. So it's possible that someone could have done that, but I really don't believe his story at all.
That's why I was just very curious.
Yeah, we get it. You're curious. What the hell were you curious about?
There were a few moments when I was talking to Dan Allen where I thought, based upon the look in his eyes, that this could go a couple different ways.
Yeah, he's a guy that right now he's playing nice because he's trying to talk his way out of the situation. He doesn't know what's going on. But just the fact that he has the history of stalking and just you just tell by the way he acts that he's probably going to get angry and potentially violent, which is very scary when you figure that he was trying to be alone with a teenage girl.
One of them, not so good.
Boy, I wish I could just run home with my tail between my legs and
then get back to doing this again with someone else.
I feel like apologizing, but I mean, like, It's cyber. Who do I apologize to? And
Again, he's trying to act like the internet and real life are two different things. Like Jeff Stacey says, they're not. He's like, it's cyber. Who do I apologize to? It doesn't matter if it's cyber. That doesn't mean it doesn't matter. If there's a real human being on the other end of that, you could really harm them. I think people understand that more these days than they did back then. Like now people know, like with social media, like if you're doing harmful things to someone, like there are real world consequences, and that is a real person you're talking to. So you can't just say or do whatever you want. But you'd have to be an idiot even back then to think that it's just like, well, it's not even real. Like even James Rutherford said, talking to them online seemed like it wasn't even real. And it's like, how you could still potentially harm someone just over the internet. There's people from like other countries and stuff that end up just harassing people like from just across the world and just doing all sorts of horrible things. You could really affect someone just by talking on the computer. These guys are stupid to think otherwise.
And I don't know. I feel sick.
Well,
He feels sick because he thinks he's in trouble. And he thinks if he says that, he'll be let off the hook.
I am not the police, but I am Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC, and we're doing a story on computer predators. He knows that he's in a bad situation once the camera guys come out. And so he's not going to try to be my pal anymore. He's mad.
Well, I'll shove that camera down his throat.
I don't think you're going to want to do that.
Why is that?
I don't think you'll want to do it. Now, we can't keep you here. If you want to say anything else to us, we'd love to hear it. You're free to leave, obviously, if you want to go. Had he decided to pursue the more aggressive route, and had he gotten physical, I mean, we had security there, and security people would have stepped in to prevent that from happening.
Okay, but can I talk to you outside?
No.
You can say whatever you want to say.
Well, I mean, I obviously want to say something off camera.
Well, I can't have the cameras turned off at this point.
Well,
The camera guy is getting closer.
then I'd like to say that pretty much I think you have it all wrong.
Like, okay. He's just, obviously, he's trying to defend himself and just lying. But there is no way in hell that we have it wrong. We have evidence. The fact that you showed up, everything you said that's clearly a lie. We have your chat. Your intent could not be more obvious. By the time these guys show up, this isn't the start of the investigation. By the time you show up, you've just solidified your intent. But your crime, and at least nowadays, I don't know what the rules were back then, but at this point, in all 50 states, it's illegal just to have the chat. To solicit a minor online, just that part of it's illegal. So even if you didn't show up, they can go to your house and arrest you. So there's nothing about this that is just looking wrong. The fact that you showed up just further adds another crime to it. Yeah, we don't have this wrong. We know exactly what you intended to do.
But your point's well taken.
If you want to follow up, my email's on here, my phone number's on there. You can call me, talk to me if you want to follow up.
Hi, guys. Pretty weird.
Yeah, you could say that this is pretty weird. But it's not the cameras coming out that's pretty weird. It's the 47 or 49-year-old, however old he is, that showed up to meet a minor. That's pretty weird. And it's funny, too, these guys that always claim, like, oh, people lie about their age all the time. I didn't believe that they were underage. They're the ones that lie about their own age. He said in his chat that he was 37. Now he's claiming he's 47, but I'm pretty sure in the wiki it said he was 49. So, yeah, they're the ones that lie about their age.
Cut.
I know that what he wants to do is get me outside off camera and try to convince me that he shouldn't be a part of our
Yeah, he probably thinks if you turn the cameras off, I can threaten this guy into not doing this.
investigation. And that's just not an option.
But he doesn't realize this isn't just like some guy and a few people he hired. This is like NBC. It's a very big organization, and there's security people there too, and there's police outside. Like this is a big this is a big thing that's happening. I can't think of a better word. It's not just one guy. So even just convincing Chris of anything is not going to help your situation because you're still going to get arrested.
And so it sounds weird, but I'm trying to be, polite and decent with the guy, but yet at the same time suggest that, okay, it's time to go. Well, they're going to stay on. I mean, you're free to leave at any time. I mean, I've said I'm not going to try and keep you here. If you have anything else you'd like to say, fine.
No, you're just doing a story, and I've got caught up in it, is what you're saying. But it's probably a very good story.
Yeah, it is. People are still going to be watching this over 20 years later.
Anything else you'd like to say?
Nope.
What
Chris is hinting at is get the hell out of there. Like, this is over. This part's over. You got to go and get arrested.
Free to go. Why don't you come on out the front way if you like? Sure. Yeah.
I think that's a sign that someone else is coming in. Michael Seibert is scurrying up to the house right now.
I think sometimes these guys are trying to figure out, how they're going to leave. If they go out a different door, are they better off doing that? Most of these guys are not hardened criminals who are going to try and run from police. Once
I don't think Dan Allen could run from police. I don't think he's quick on his feet.
They see that they're going to be arrested, that a number of deputies or officers are there, they pretty much cooperate.
All right, let's head back over to the wiki page and figure out what happened to Dan Allen after this. It says Allen left the Sting House and was arrested by police, and he was originally charged with 3 felonies. His bail was set at $50,000, and he ended up pleading guilty to 1 charge and was sentenced to 3 years in prison and lifetime registration as an offender. After being released in the fall of 2008 in deteriorating health, Allen passed away on January 9th, 2009 at the age of 51, and he was cremated. Chris's podcast Predators I've Caught included a young woman named Daniela in April 2021 who talked about her father. When the episode aired in March of 2006, she and her family recorded it and gathered to watch it together. There's nothing like getting the old family together and watching To Catch a Predator to see your dad get busted. They were shocked that Allen had been discovered, but not shocked by his actions. Although Daniela had gone on with her life, she spent a lot of time researching Allen's case. She had received calls from many others who claimed to have been abused by Allen in some way. So yeah, obviously he was a very, very bad guy. And while I'm on the subject, what the hell is with this picture? Look at this guy. Look at this scary looking dude. Who the hell wants this guy coming over to their house when they're teenagers home alone? Good God. 2024 update. In a Reddit AMA in 2024, Dan's daughter confirmed her dad's cause of death was heart attack. She also shared a picture of a younger Dan seen here. She also answered various other questions, including confirmation that the way he behaved around minors had always been a cause of concern, or cause for concern. So, yeah, he has a history of this. But look at this picture here. He looks kind of normal in this picture. He looks like Don Fry or something. Like, if he wasn't a predator, I don't know, this looks like an okay guy. This guy looks in good health and everything, but he, at some point, turned into a monster. Under trivia, it says, in the televised episode containing Dan Allen's interview and arrest, he can be seen sitting near Jean-Pierre Weary in the temporary detention area at the Sting House. Wow, get two classic all-stars sitting together. All right, well, that's it for Dan Allen. So thanks for watching, everyone. Let me know if there's any other predators you want me to cover a second time, or any interrogations you want me to do, and I will try to get to them, and I'll see everyone next time.